jungle room, the vines hang deep. Breeze and raindrops as the emerald boas slither. Face to face they draw their guests in close. Their calm invites us to come hither. Every corner built for curious mind, a jungle playground, nature design. Build them homes, let instincts flow. Babies born, tiny lives begin to grow.
Greetings. Welcome to the HappyBasins podcast with me, Amy Benzi, here on the Untamed and Unhinged Reptile podcast channel on YouTube. We are super excited to be here tonight with Robert Privet II from Rogue Xotics. Robert is a Conroe, Texas-based breeder with more than 20 years of keeping reptiles and over a decade of breeding experience. He specializes in boas and new Caledonian geckos and brings real passion and expertise to every animal he works with. We'll be talking about responsible breeding, what it means to truly work with reptiles, how to ship safely, and smart advice for new keepers. I'm really looking forward to this conversation, so let's get started. Welcome, Robert.
Hey, how are you doing?
Thanks for being here tonight. And I learned just before we started that this is Robert's first podcast. So this is the first time he's been able to come on to a podcast and talk about all of these things that he's been experiencing for the last decades. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about how you even got started in reptiles way back in the day?
I mean, probably like every other person, they've loved reptiles since they can remember. I mean, since I was 5 years old, my mom was watching like PBS nature shows with me, and I always loved the reptile shows. Like, I always wanted a snake. I could never have one. And I got to keep turtles as a kid, but it was like ones we caught. It was never like a pet turtle that I raised in the house. It was always like box turtles or red sliders we caught while fishing. But I don't know. I started with the snakes when I was about 19. Like, I was on my own, and I could finally have a snake. And this girl I was dating at the time, she's like, "I want a snake." I was like, "Hell yeah, that's perfect." And we went out and got a Brazilian rainbow boa for the first snake ever. And most people would say that's a bad idea, but I mean, I had her for 22 years. She actually passed away this year. But after that, I got Argentine boas, was like the next boa I got into, and I actually still have her. She's sitting over there in the rack 22 years ago. So my girl Rogue, she started it all. She started my love for boas.
She's the one where your name came from.
Say that again? Yeah, she's the one my name came from. So after that, I was hooked. Within a year, I had like 15 snakes and for 15, 20 different reptiles, chameleons. I went all in on every species like you shouldn't do. This is too much different care for one person to like handle. But yeah, that started my my whole passion for everything.
So your very first baby was a rainbow boa, and you said that people would say that's not a good idea. And why is that? Are they hard to take care of?
Their care is a little bit more intermediate than a novice. Like, they're not very forgiving when it comes to moisture and temperature. You get them too hot, they're going to die. You get them too dry, they'll die really quickly. Like, they're not forgiving, especially as babies. They really like a almost perma-wet substrate. And as long as you give them a perma-wet substrate, they're fine. But a new keeper, would be better off like a desert king snake or a corn snake, because, I mean, a king snake, you can probably leave without water for a week and it'll be fine. So if you're just not on your husbandry, they're not a really good starter if you don't know how to like be on top of everything all the time. I did great with mine. Like I said, I had her 22 years before she died of old age.
That's
So,
fabulous.
yeah.
Well, we're sorry that you lost her, but wow, what a great over 2 decades of time with her.
Yeah, she was a sweetheart. I loved her.
What was her name?
Her name was Pandora.
And what made you decide to go with Rogue instead of Pandora?
So Pandora is actually my ex's snake. I bought it for her, and I bought Rogue for me. Like Rogue was my first snake. But when we broke up, or actually we got divorced, we ended up getting married. But
Mm.
when we got a divorce, she's like, I don't want the snakes. I was like, cool, I want them. So I kept them.
Oh, good. There was no major, you didn't have to go to court over Pandora.
Yeah, no, she just gave them up to me. So I kept all the reptiles when she left.
Yes, it's a
And
lot of work. I'm sure she realized that.
yeah, she didn't like doing that. So, but
Well,
yeah, that
in
started my
your
love for Brazilian rainbows. So,
and you've had more Brazilian rainbows since then?
oh, I don't know how many I have. So I work with Brazilian rainbows, Colombian rainbows. I work with more species than I know that I have. Probably, I have a lot of different species. I can't pick one to work with. Like Occidentalis, the Argentine, is definitely my first love in the boa world. But I have so many boas, different
Well,
boas.
I'm looking forward to asking a question later. It's not even on my list, but it's something
Okay.
that I always like to ask about how, since you do both, do you think it's easier to raise live babies or to hatch them from eggs?
I mean, it's kind of easier to do live birthing, I think, as long as you keep the mom in the parameters she needs to be in. Like she does all the work. So you just wake up one day and you open the drawer and like there's just babies everywhere and it's great. I love it. Or you catch them in the act, which is even better. I've only caught boas giving birth 2 or 3 times, and it's always been a rainbow boa.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten to film a few rainbow boas having given birth to their babies.
Yes, that
But
question definitely has a 50-50 answer.
yeah, I like hatching
Yes.
out eggs too, so I like both. So I do colubrids mostly when it comes to egg layers. I've only bred one python species, and that was Sumatran shorttails, and I did that last year.
Mm-hmm. Well, in your branding, I read that you do working with or training reptiles. What does that look like to
Um,
train them?
I mean, I don't really train reptiles. I do hook training, so I've always been a believer in like feeding in your enclosures. Like if you're feeding, don't touch your snake. Just feed it. And when you need to mess with your snake, always have like either an object or a way you touch your snake to let them know that food's not coming. So especially with boas are very food responsive. I don't want to say food aggressive because they're not aggressive. They're just responsive to food. And when you go into a enclosure and a boa is sleeping, and you go and you try to pick it up by the head or in the front of the body with just your hand, it's a warm hand. First thing they're going to do is probably bite you, thinking that you're offering them a rat. So I've always touched my snakes with something else before actually handling it. It's just a precaution for me because I don't like getting bit,
Yes,
especially by
definitely.
like 8-foot Argentine boas.
That's how big an Argentine boa is.
My biggest is I think around 9.5.
And
But I've
do they
seen
stay thin
Argentines
like
get to 12
mine?
feet.
Oh, wow. Do
I
the
never get
Argent
them that big. I don't like growing stuff super big.
because you can do that with food, right?
Yeah, you have to overfeed them to get them that large. I don't
When
like overfeeding my animals.
and those, even though those boas get bigger than like my boas, do they stay thin like the emeralds?
They get some good size to them. They're not like monsters or anything. They're not like a retic or a berm. Um, they might get maybe that big around at the largest. At least
Mm-hmm.
mine. Mine aren't that large.
Well, I see here that Smiley says that they have a Colombian rainbow boa. Are the localities pretty easy to tell a difference if you have a Colombian, a Peruvian, a Brazilian?
I mean, if you're looking at like Colombian boas to like Peruvian boas, they're very different from each other. They're different species, but
Oh,
like
wow.
different Central American boas can be harder to tell apart. But they're all like boa imperator. Like Colombian boas and Central American boas are all the same species,
Mm-hmm.
but the Colombians get larger than the Central Americans. I
Mm.
don't work with any Central American stuff other than Hog Island.
I found a rainbow boa in Colombia, and then
Uh-huh.
I've seen a few in Suriname, and they looked the same to me. But, if I
They
knew
were
more.
probably like Colombian boas. Like the Brazilian rainbows are like really, really red. And there are, I want to say that the Brazilian rainbow does drift into Colombia a little bit, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I know the two species look very different from each other. So if it was in Suriname and you found one, it probably was a Colombian, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. What right now? You said you just did a breeding project, and which boas were those with?
My breeding project just now?
Yes, you just said you just had a litter this year or a clutch. I can't remember what kind of animal.
Boas, I didn't have any litter this year for boas. Last year I did Sumatran short tails,
Mm.
pythons,
Mm-hmm.
and I had sand boas last year, Kenyan sand boas.
Mm. What's your favorite?
My favorite boa,
Well, your favorite
Argentine,
snake
Argentine boas.
and why?
My first love. They get super dark and black. They're like
Mm.
really metal. You know what I mean? They look like pit bulls. Like
Mm.
their heads have a lot of, if you, at least mine have like really high white contrasting on the head. It just makes them look super mean, but they're not. Like a
And you
pit bull.
said that's an Argentine boa?
Uh-huh. Yeah, boa constrictor
Oh, yeah.
occidentalis.
Yeah, those are really pretty. If anybody else doesn't know how they look, it's not a very good. Well, you have to Google it because the camera's not
Oh, yeah.
picking up my phone. But yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And are you focusing on any particular, like more? I see some of these are really black, like you said. And
Yeah.
then there's,
So I've been focusing more on pinks. So there's the Max Pink line that's Bob did. He's in Florida. I forgot the name of his company, but it's called the Max Pink line. Those have really, really, really pink saddles. And my pair have always thrown high pinks, but it's more like the whole animal's pink, not just the sides, not just the tops. And they
mm.
tend to keep their side skirts on their side. So I've been trying to work on a pink line, but boas take forever to grow up and reproduce. So it's a slow process.
How many litters have you had from that pair?
5, I think.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's 22. She's giving me about one every other year since the first time I bred her. So,
Wow.
yeah,
I
I try to
always
space
wondered
her
how
out.
long they
I'm
can
giving
go.
her. I'm probably not breeding her this year just because, like, I'm sure she could go, but I'm just trying to give her some time to like get her weight back and just not be stressed.
And what's
She's
their
my child.
lifespan?
Like I don't want to
Yes.
do what?
You've had her for a long time. What's their lifespan?
Oh,
Are they a 30-year or
they can
25
live.
or
I mean, I've heard of boas living into their late 40s,
wow.
but I don't know if she'll live that long. I mean, not all people live into the hundreds, but some people
Right.
do. I would say their lifespan's around 25 to 30 years. Oldest boa I think I ever had was 25.
Yeah, I
So
didn't know. I always wondered how long snakes can keep breeding to what age?
I mean, I've heard of people breeding boas in their 20s, and they were fine. They made perfect litters, but I don't. I don't really want to push it with her. It's not that important. I have other Argentines I can breed this year, so.
And are they from her? Do you have any from her you're breeding with the high pink?
Yes. So I have a baby I produced, I think 4 or 5 years ago that is looking like she's finally ready. I think she was a 19 baby, so maybe she's 6. I don't remember when she popped. I think maybe it was 2020. But I have her. She was one of my high pink holdbacks that I've been holding on to and growing up. So I think this is the year she's going to get paired with somebody. I'm excited for that. I also have Motleys and T positive albino Argentines. So get to try to reproduce those this year. I've never produced a morph yet, so.
And that means something original that isn't out there yet. Is that what you mean?
No, they're out there. I've just never bred the like the genetic mutations. I've only bred like the normal wild types.
But that's something you'd like to get into?
Oh yeah. Oh, I've had them for years. I just never produced any.
And what particular thing would be in a morph that you would
So
look
there's 2 mutations for the Argentines. There's Motley, which looks like a Motley boa, or a Motley corn snake, like that spotted on the back pattern. And then there's a T positive albino, which is a caramel albino. So there's only 2 mutations.
Well, that'll be fun to see if you can pull that out.
I'm putting a T positive to a Motley pos het T positive. So if the het proves out, then I'll produce the visual.
And
if not, I'm making hets. Both are good with me.
And when you have the babies, how do you keep the babies?
I mean, I keep them in a baby rack, a 6-quart tub rack. Water bowl, paper towel for their first few months. Make sure they're like eating well, and then I'll switch them to Aspen, just like the adults.
And do you ever have to start your babies with live feeders to get them going?
Occasionally. So I always try frozen thawed fuzzies for their first, I don't know, 3 or 4 attempts. Like I'll give them a month trying to get them on frozen before I get live. After that, I was like, okay, I'll break and I'll go find live. Where I live, it's not really easy to find affordable live rodents.
Well, I'm surprised with as many animals as you have, you're not raising any feeders.
I hate breeding rodents. I've always hated it. I bred mice one time, and it was for a Brazilian rainbow litter that would not take frozen thawed. And I was buying 16 live fuzzies from a pet store every Monday that were $2.50 a pop. Like it was costing me like $60 a week to feed this litter for like 4 or 5 weeks before they would actually take live. So I ended up buying some adults and breeding. Like it took me 3 months to get some of them to eat frozen. But I got them switched over before I sold them. So
yes,
I always switch them over.
I started breeding hamsters for our little babies just to make sure I had some live, and it has turned out to be such a problem. They are so cute. They all have names. It's just hard for me to part with any of them when it's time.
I understand that. I love rats. I think rats are like one of the best rodent pets you can have. And to breed rats and like throw them in a cage, it breaks my heart. But also my girlfriend's allergic to rodents, so I can't breed rodents ever again. So it's just easier just to defroze them.
Well, you have a lot more reptiles than just snakes.
Yes.
So I have to get my paper back out to see the Caledonian geckos. I don't know what that is either.
New Caledonia. So New Caledonia is a little island chain out in the middle of the Pacific. It's where the crested gecko is from. There's around 150 species of gecko on New Caledonia. I have 15 or 16 species from that island. And I think only like 18 to 20 are available in the United States.
Oh, wow.
So I've almost collected all of them.
Wow. And so you're breeding those, but are
Mhm.
you parting with them?
Some of them. I've probably reproduced 10 or 12 species so far.
Mm.
So I have a few species I haven't even paired yet. Like I have them, like Trachycephalus, Rhacodactylus trachycephalus, the lesser rough-snouted geckos. I just got a male for my female, like a few weeks ago. My friend loaned him to me. So we'll
And your
be.
female's ready? Is she old enough?
She's close. She's very close. So she'll probably be ready by the end of the year. So I'm looking to pair them up December, January. I've never bred them. They're a live birthing gecko, which is also really
Mm.
cool. So I'm
I
super
didn't know
excited to
there was
produce
such a
those.
thing.
You didn't know there? Yeah, I know of two species. They're both from New Caledonia. It's the greater rough-snouted and the lesser rough-snouted. Both give live birth, and they only have 2 babies a year. So they're one of the
Wow.
rarest geckos in the pet trade.
And that's the one that you said there were only a very small limited amount in the US?
Yeah, not very many people. Trachycephalus is definitely easier to get your hands on, but Trachyrhynchus is the greater. They're extremely rare. Last one I saw for sale was $5,000
Wow.
for a
Yeah.
female with no male, no pair.
2 babies a year. That's
2
unbelievable.
babies a year. The last baby I saw for sale was 2,800, and it was a week old.
Wow. That would be scary to buy something a week old. Do people part with it at that age?
I
Or you
mean, the guy
buy
who
it
was
and get it
selling it
later?
did. It was sold before I could go get my money.
Wow.
Um, I was buying a Trachycephalus, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna buy that Rhynchus if I make some money at this show. And he's like, it's already sold. Like I went to go get a down payment for the Cephalus. My Cephalus, when I bought her, she was a month old, and I've had her for I think 2 or 3 years now.
Do you
She's
think
great.
lizards are easier as babies than the snakes?
Um, Snakes are pretty bulletproof when they're babies. I think they can go 3 to 4 months without eating and be fine. I mean, I've had babies not eat for 6 months
Mm.
after being born,
Mhm.
and then eat all of a sudden and be fine. Um, I think snakes are more forgiving, depending on the species, of course. But gecko babies, like you can't really, you're not like tease feeding them. You're not feeding them a big meal every time you feed them. So they're like licking the gecko diet, and that's about it. That's all you're getting out of them or getting into them. And their bellies are really small because I work a lot of micro species. But they've been pretty. I've only lost a couple babies um, from breeding all the. I've produced over 50 micro geckos, and I think I've lost like 2.
And I
So,
wanna ask about the micro geckos, but first I wanna ask you that, if you had a baby that didn't eat for 6 months, you don't assist feed them?
no, I would. I would. Like I'm talking about taking food on their own.
Mm-mm.
After about 3 months, I will assist feed a baby snake.
Mhm.
Depend if it looks healthy, because assist feeding can be a little stressful.
Mhm.
But never force feed, but always assist feed.
Right, just get that little head in there
Get
and
get it snagged in their teeth where they can't spit it out, and then they just swallow it.
mhm.
But yeah, I've had to do that quite a few times in my years.
Yes, I just have just my little few years that I have in our 2 litters, and I had to do it with the first one, and then the second litter, I probably didn't have to, but since it seemed so easy, and it was always so easy,
Mhm.
I just leave them right on their perch and do it, and they're seem fine with it, but I did the second batch of babies after 30 days because, I knew I could.
Yeah. I like to give them a little bit longer than that to take food on their own.
Yes,
Like I
that's
just had some black rat snakes, and I had a baby not eat for 6 weeks. Wouldn't take frozen thawed, and I threw a live in there, and she ate immediately.
I have some questions about colubrids too. But first, I want to hear about micro.
Micro
Um,
geckos.
yes.
So I work with the Bavea genus and Gecko genus of New Caledonian like micro geckos. None of them are super small. The Bavea robusta or the robust forest gecko is the largest one I have on that like genus. They get about 6 inches. Little quick guys. They're actually right there. They're fun. But and the smallest would be the Bavea excessita. They get about 3 inches long. Like they're just that
Wow.
big. Yeah, they're super cute.
They sound very easy to lose.
They are. They are. They're some of them can be quite fast and like morning gecko speed. So they're I guess not for the faint of heart. But the more you work with them, the more they calm down, the more they're okay with you messing with them, which is nice. But I still have some adult pairs that I've never really messed with much, and they're flighty. But like my favorite species would be Bavea septiclevis. I actually just produced them this year for the first time. They're super chill, even from hatchlings. They're chill, and they're really pretty. If you could look on my Instagram, they're on there. But
Yes, I did look through your Instagram, but of course I'll have to do it again now that I know more what I'm looking at.
mhm.
Because if I saw those little micro babies, micro geckos, I would probably just think they were babies, I'm sure.
Oh, when they're babies, they're like that big.
Wow.
They're like an inch long when they hatch out. Their eggs are the size of a tic tac.
And how
They're
long can you keep them together, or don't you keep them together at all?
so I separate all the babies in individual cups when they're born. So I raise them all in like fruit fly containers. It's like a little bitty terrarium for them. The adults are, depending on the species, are either in like a 12 by 12 cube or a 12 by 12 18 tall. Most of the stuff behind me is micro geckos.
Mm.
Um, and then I keep either a pair or a trio in those size cages, depending on the species.
What about snakes? Do you have any snakes that cohabitate?
I have some rattlesnakes that cohabitate, and I think that's about it.
Mm.
I have some mottled rock rattlers that have a pair together that have always been together. I've never taken them apart. I've never bred them, but
Mm.
they're a pair, but they've never actually bred. I'm not trying to breed them.
Mm-hmm. If
But
you were trying to breed those rattlesnakes, what would you do different?
I mean, if I was actually trying, I'd probably cool them down in the wintertime. I just never turn the heat off. So they
Mm-hmm.
got to get really cold to breed, and I've just never tried to actually breed them.
Do you have to have a license to have those snakes in Texas?
Yeah, you have to have a permit.
Mm-hmm. Permit.
You're supposed to have a permit. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a fishing license.
Is that the only venomous you have?
No.
Oh, what else do you have?
I mean, I have a shield nose cobra, I have rhino viper, I have several species of rattlesnake, blacktail, western diamondback, Mexican rocks. I have African bush vipers.
Oh, well, you have a lot of
Those are
venomous.
just my pets. Like I don't breed those. I've never bred a venomous animal. I've never planned on it.
Mm-hmm.
They're just fun to look at. They're fish. I call
Right.
them fish. They're set up in nice bioactives, and you walk by them in the living room, and they're just sitting there. They're
Nice. And we
pretty
can
to look
see that
at.
on your Instagram too.
I might have a couple pictures. I don't really post my venomous stuff because I don't breed and sell them, so I don't really put them on my business page. I know there's some
Mm-hmm.
bush vipers on there that I took pictures of, and maybe one eyelash that I used to have. I
Yeah,
do
I
enjoy my
noticed your
venomous. That's more of a pleasure thing.
Yes. The rhino vipers. I have seen some videos of those and they are beautiful. They're all beautiful.
Oh, they're gorgeous. I think I have a picture of my rhino viper on there when she was a baby.
Do the rhino vipers make noise like the oh, the other?
Like the gaboon or
Yes,
the
thank
puff
you.
adder from the
Yes, the
Bittistinas.
gaboon.
Yeah, they'll huff and puff at you just like the rhinos or just like the gaboons and the puff adder.
Mhm.
Yeah, they do the same, like mocking, like swelling up and breathing on you at you to get away if
Mhm.
you stress them out.
Yes, I feel bad when I look at my friends. Um, I'm so sorry. What did you just say? What was I trying to think of?
The gaboon.
Yes, the gaboon. The gaboon, every time when I go over there, I always go stand, until he starts making that noise because I
Hmm.
just does something inside me. I love it.
Yeah, man. I used to have one. I had one for many years until it passed away. But
Yeah, they don't even look real. Those patterns just don't even look real.
they're amazing. I want to get more. I want to get another gaboon for sure. I
What do
miss my
you
gaboon.
think are the biggest challenges of breeding? And do you do the temperature changes and the things like you said you don't do with the rattlesnakes? You do all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
to.
So my reptile room will fluctuate temperatures. I always and all I do is change my thermostat in my house because it's just it's connected in my house. This used to be like two bedrooms. We knocked a wall out and made it all one room. Um, but the all I have to do is open the door to the reptile room, and it gets about 4 to 5 degrees cooler in here during the winter, up to 10 degrees cooler. And then on some like the rainbow boas, I just turn their heat off for the 10-week cool down. They have no heat at all, and they do great because you need to get them down in like the high 60s to get
Mm.
them to breed.
And then what? After that cool down, you turn all the heat back on, and that's when they start mating?
So the rainbows will start breeding in the springtime. Um, yeah, I feed them really heavy this time of year is like when I'm feeding everything a lot because I'm about to turn everyone's heat off and I'm about to stop feeding them for 3 months, 10 weeks. They're not going to have any food. Um, and then you dip their temperatures once they've digested everything you've given them. And then around February 14th, I start kicking their heat back on. And then I'll start offering food again. But they're paired up the entire time. I leave them together during the winter. And sometimes you see locks, but most of the time with the rainbows, you don't see the locks till about March.
Mm.
But with the like boa constrictor or the boa imperators, they'll breed in the wintertime. They'll start locking up like in December, January
And
when it's
then what? You
cool.
separate them after you see an ovulation?
Um, I don't separate them until I know for sure my females are pregnant or gravid. Like I want to see them coiled on the heat like a gravid female. I want them to see them actually like doing gravid female behavior before I pull my male. Because I've made the
Mhm.
mistake of pulling a male early and then you get a bunch of slugs
Mm.
because you pulled your male before her ovulation and it doesn't hurt anything for that male to be in that enclosure while she's cooking her baby. I take him out, I feed him, I put him back. So everyone gets
Mhm.
separated to get fed and then they get paired back together right after they eat.
And the same with the lizards? Do they stay together too?
They stay together year round. I
Mm.
don't separate my pairs.
Oh, because you take the eggs out, so you're
Yep.
incubating the eggs.
Yep.
Have you
I,
ever done the natural incubation where the mother does it? Have you done that with any of your species? And
not
what's
the
that
snakes,
called?
no. Well, yeah, with the boas because the mother does everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but no, not with any of the egg layers because most of the egg layers I've bred snake wise were colubrids and they abandoned their eggs. Um, the Sumatran shorttail is the only python I bred, and I pulled her eggs from her. She had 18 beautiful eggs. Incubated those in a makeshift incubator. That was fun.
What does a makeshift incubator look like?
An igloo cooler with a heat pad and some water bottles and a thermostat.
And is that what you use for all of your eggs?
No.
Oh,
that's what I
just that
used
one.
for a clutch of python eggs I didn't have a big enough incubator for.
Wow.
And most of the colubrid eggs I do in like this little bitty box incubator. I mean, I can incubate them on the shelf. Colubrid eggs will hatch at 75 degrees, 80 degrees. And you don't have to incubate them. You can just set them in your reptile room if it's warm enough. But the python eggs had to be at 88 degrees constant. So I had to make a makeshift incubator. And actually, Hurricane Burl hit and knocked the power out for 6 days when I was incubating those eggs. I had to like truck them to a friend's house, plug them in at their house because they still had power.
How many babies did you get out of those 18 eggs?
18.
Nice. Beautiful work.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was really fun.
So those colubrids, a lot of them are cannibalistic, right?
King snakes can be. King snakes can be cannibalistic. Adults can. Like when you pair them, the female can choose to eat the male.
And do you breed those?
Yeah. I breed desert kings.
And how do you do that with the, like I always wondered, I do have 2 king snakes upstairs, a California king snake and a Pueblan milk snake.
Okay.
And I did have 2 king snakes, but the male ate the female like about a little more than 6 inches of her. And I damaged him trying to undo that mess.
Yeah.
And he never quite ate right after that. So we had to put him down.
That's sorry to hear that.
So I would never do it again. It was so scary. You know, those animals were barely together and he did that. So I just wondered how you actually breed cannibalistic snakes.
So I've always found it pretty easy. So feed them a lot after they come out of brumation. So, you got to brumate them for 10 weeks, which means not feeding them and turning the heat off and getting them really cold. About 50. I get mine in the high 60s. I don't even get them that low. But after you get them brumated and you get them back up, you start feeding your snakes. And you feed your females a little heavy. I do about 2 mice a week instead of 1 on the female. And once she sheds, it's like her pre-shed. Once that first shed of the season, she's ready for a male. So I start introducing a male at that point, but I never introduce them without supervising them. I'm over that tub the whole time until I see breeding behavior. Because I've had a female and a male in the same tub for 45 minutes. None of them are doing any breeding behavior yet. And then all of a sudden, my female grabbed my male and tried to eat him. And you just separate them real quick and say, okay, it's not the day. And then 3 days later, you put them together and they want to breed. Like it's crazy. But just observing them and watching them, making sure they're going to have breeding behavior. So once the male starts riding the female and the female's okay with him riding her, I wait till an actual lock happens. But when you start seeing that behavior, you're like, okay, they're going to breed. And then once they lock, I just close the drawer and walk away. But I won't close that drawer until they're locked.
Because once they lock up, then you know they're just going to keep breeding, and that's when they're not going to eat.
I'll leave them together for like a week. And I've never had a snake cannibalize the other. I've never had a king eat another king. As long as they're doing their breeding behaviors, they're okay being with each other. But once you separate them to feed them, and if you try to reintroduce them, the female's probably going to try to eat the male.
So you don't feed them until it's over.
I leave them together until they stop unlocking, then I'll separate them. So a few days together.
Yeah,
or until their next meal.
I would love to breed those 2 king snakes I have upstairs, but like I said, I'm just too afraid. But I looked on the internet and they make beautiful babies.
What, bring the Cali and a Honduran?
Mm-hmm. Pueblan.
A Pueblan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, I've never been into mixing species together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know
I'm
people do it,
definitely.
they make some really cool stuff, but
I saw some cool pictures,
'cause, I
but
mean, as long as they're sold as like, this is what it is, it doesn't bother me that people do it,
yeah, I never thought about that. I wouldn't do my northerns and my basins together
right?
because I know the stipulation on it, but I somehow it didn't occur to me that there was also could be a stipulation on the other
Kings.
animals. Mm-hmm.
I mean, people mix kings together. I mean, people mix kings with corn snakes before. So, I mean, hybridation has been done. I've just never been a big a fan doing it on my side because, my favorite species is Argentine boas, and they're CITES. Like you can't get them anymore out of the wild. I can't even sell a captive bred baby to Canada. Like
Mm.
whatever's in the US is what we have. That's it. It's all we're ever getting again. So keeping the bloodlines pure and actually producing pure Argentines is rare. I'm not rare,
Hmm.
but
Well, it's
uh,
important since we don't
it's
have
important
many.
to keep breeding pures. I mean, there's enough pures that we can always switch bloods and never be inbreeding too much, which
And
is
what
awesome.
about inbreeding or line breeding? Those are 2 different things, or they're the same kind
Same
of?
thing.
Mm-hmm.
So line breeding would be breeding siblings together, and then for a certain trait. So like patternless king snakes, something that I work with, it's a line bred trait. Someone took wild caught specimens that were reduced in pattern and bred them together and made a reduced pattern snake, and then took those more reduced to another more reduced, and they probably did it for 3 to 4, maybe 5 generations of siblings together until they got patternless. And then you can outcross that to other snakes and or other non-related animals, and you will produce more of a line. But that's how you get those kind of traits. Line bred traits is breeding siblings.
And that's super common and acceptable, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's common. I mean, acceptable to a point. Like I've line bred maybe 3 generations, and that's about as far as I'm willing to go. Um, and then I outcross. But going too far means you might get like inbred depression.
Mm.
I mean, I probably own a snake I bought from somebody that had inbred depression because it was line bred too much. I'll never breed that snake. I regret
Mm.
buying it, but it's gonna live here forever.
And what does that
Um,
look like?
she just had bulgy eyes. Like her eyes are a little bigger than they should be. Um, just didn't look right.
Mm-hmm. And that's when
So
you say depression, that's what you're talking about, physical characteristics, not a
yeah,
mental.
it's genetic deformities start occurring
Mm-hmm.
instead of like them looking normal. But in the wild, snakes are inbreeding all the time because they don't move from a very far place, and their siblings are what's around them. I mean, there's enough genetic diversity in those snakes to keep going.
Right.
I mean, they're
Yeah,
not
that's
that complex.
well, I'm doing some line breeding myself, and I have turned out some really cool looking hamsters.
See?
I've been just having so much fun with those hamsters and looking at the genetics and getting this trait and that trait. So I'm actually learning a lot about that kind of stuff through the hamsters.
Yeah. Yeah, I was line breeding quail like 10 years ago just for fun because I was producing quail for quail eggs and then for meat birds. And I was like, I want them all to have white heads. So I just kept holding all the white headed ones back and just breeding all the white headed ones.
Nice.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. I've got gray ones, but I only have 2 males. I don't have any gray females yet, pure gray. And then I have tiger striped, which I am getting more of those. They're really cool looking. And my German shepherds and my wolves. Those are all my hamster lines.
Nice.
It's been fun.
Love it.
What do you think is the biggest challenge of each the snakes breeding the live birth snakes and the egg laying snakes?
The biggest challenge?
Yes.
Getting all their temperatures correct on the live bearing snakes has been my hurdle, or introducing males at the right time, um, pulling males too early. Overheating your male can also like cause them not to have very good sperm counts.
Mm. So do you provide a basking spot? I don't really know how that works with
So I keep
non-arboreal.
my basking spot on my boas about 88 to 90. Their hot spot on their belly heat is where I try to keep them, and then during the winter, their ambient drops about 5 to 10 degrees, depending on the time of day. During the
And it-
day, there'll be about a 4 degree difference from they were in summer, spring, fall, and then they get about another 6 degree drop at night when it gets cold.
so
It
when
doesn't
you
get
have
super
the
cold here, but
yeah, you're in Texas, so it's not bad. When you have the male and female together for breeding and you have that 88 to 90 degree basking spot, do you keep that basking spot while the males are in there?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I never change their hot spots. I
So
leave
when you
them
say they
year
can't get
round the
too
same.
hot,
Do what?
when you say they can't get too hot, the males, what would be too hot?
So yeah, so I've heard that if you, and I think I did it on my hog islands the first time I bred them. I think I got my hog islands too hot, so I got them into the 90s, and they probably should have been 88. And they just lose sperm count. Same thing with like colubrids. If you don't get them really cold in the wintertime, the males can't develop enough sperm to fertilize.
Mm.
So that's what they're doing there in the winter, is producing.
That is very interesting. So,
So
like anything over 100 degrees would be a bad basking spot.
100 degrees kill them.
Mm. Kill the snake?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I don't let any of my snakes get over 90.
Mm-hmm.
My colubrids their thermostats are set to 88, but their hotspots are probably 86. And they're never really on it. They're always up in the front. Same with my rainbows. They don't like being hot. The
How do
rainbows
you
definitely don't like being hot.
how do you house those rainbows? Are they partially arboreal? And in the jungle, I only find them in the trees only because I'm only looking for emeralds. So I'm only
Right.
looking in the trees.
I mean, I've always kept them in. Right now, I have most of my stuff in 70 series tubs. I have some 80, 60 8RSs that I'm probably going to be putting some rainbows in. The bigger rainbows I have, but most of my rainbows are pretty small. I don't grow them up very big. I don't let them get 6 foot. I think that's ridiculously large for a Brazilian rainbow.
Mm.
But 70 series tub on cocoa fiber is their typical setup.
And with
Just so
the
I can keep
animals,
the humidity in the tubs.
yeah, the humidity and the substrate mixture, that's not something I have to deal with either. So how
Nope.
do you keep mildew? Like those king snakes upstairs are in bioactive things. I don't even do anything with them. But with these guys, I can't even imagine using a substrate because of how moist it has to be. So how do you deal with mildew and
So I
gnats?
use the Eco Blocks from ZoomEd, actually. They're this little brick, 1 brick per tub. Add water to it, it expands. I've never had a mold issue with it, ever. I've had mold issues with like the big chips, but the finer, I've never really had that much of a mold issue with the ZoomEd one.
Mm,
I don't know why. I love that brick. I've always used it, and then I've never probably changed.
wow, that's good
And they're not
information.
super expensive, so. But
Mhm.
expanding them sucks because it takes like 15 minutes to expand
Mm.
them.
Feels like an hour, huh?
Yeah, cleaning days is bad when you're doing like a full bedding change on these guys, but spot cleaning is awesome. Spot clean for as long as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you go for the full change, it's like an all day thing.
Right.
But yeah, I have probably way too many snakes. Way too
Well,
many.
how do you do all that? You must be working on cleaning every single solitary day.
I mean, we do clean a lot. Um, I mean, my girlfriend, she helps me out a lot. She is a stay at home. She doesn't do anything else. So the podcast actually interviewed her about a month or two ago. Shelby from Rogue Xotics. She does millipedes and isopods, so that's what she focuses on. But I work, so when I'm at work, she's helping me out with the geckos, and she doesn't like the boas that much because they bite,
Mm.
and she's scared of the big boas. But
Mm-hmm.
the little stuff she's okay with messing with, king snakes and all the colubrids.
And the lizards are most important for her to help with because they need way more care than snakes, right?
No, actually, my
Oh.
geckos are the least thing I have to clean. So everything behind me is my breeding groups, and I keep them all in bioactive. I don't breed in sterilized enclosures that have to be cleaned constantly. So everything's in a bioactive with springtails.
Nice. So they just get food every day.
They get 2 to 3 times a week we feed them, and depending on, I have little tags and mental notes on when to go check for eggs. So I go digging in a bioactive enclosure for eggs. Like it's fine with me. It gives my animals more stimulation,
Yes.
and it's fine if once a month I got to dig up their cage and look for their little, you know,
Microscopic.
tic tac eggs.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking that micro geckos up when we finish because I want to see the tininess.
yeah, New Caledonian micros. So there's another group of micro geckos. There's several groups of micro geckos, but one of the most popular are the Caribbean ones. They're really, really colorful when they're babies. A Reptile works with those a lot, and they're really neat and they're really cool. And I want to get into them really bad, but they eat bugs, and I don't like dealing with bugs. I don't like feeding off bugs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out in the woods, so it's a trek to go get crickets or anything like that.
Well, I recently took in a homeless bearded dragon, and I do not understand how that is the most commonly owned reptile
Right?
because that is the hardest animal I have in
Yep.
this house.
You need UV light, you need heat, you need bugs, you need salads. Like, I have 2 of them.
Mm.
But I didn't ask for any of them. Like, they were like rescues are given to me. They're not my favorite. I was going to sell them, but my girlfriend is like, "Oh my god, you can't sell Ruby. She's beautiful." And Ruby is beautiful. She's a extreme red hypo trans dunner.
Mm.
Like, she's an extremely beautiful dragon. She's almost pure red.
Wow.
She's like, "You can't sell her." I was like, "Okay, you're taking care of her then, because I don't want to feed her." So Shelby takes care of her.
Yes, we are now raising dubia roaches.
Oh, I've had a dubia colony for like 17 years.
Mm.
Yep, I have nothing that really eats it except
Oh,
my tarantulas and my bearded dragons.
so you just enjoy raising them?
No, I've just always had them, and I need them for my spiders. I sell off like little starter colonies when I'm at the shows. Like, I'll
Mm.
bring a starter colony, like 10 of them, and sell them for like $20
Hmm.
because I just want them to get off my table, and it helps me pay for my table. And it's like the cheapest dubia you'll ever find at a show.
Hmm.
It's just, I just sell off
Well,
what I don't need.
they're actually fun and cute. I haven't started naming any because we just started doing it,
Too
but
many.
I could because, like when I go to get them out, well, my husband has to do that. But their little faces. I have tons of videos on my phone because they're
They're cute.
actually interactive and cute and curious.
I love bugs, but see, my geckos won't eat bug. Like they won't eat dubia. They don't like them. They like crickets, and they mostly eat gecko diet. So that's like it's an all-around food for them. So it's just easy. Occasionally they get some crickets, but I mean, when I have 350 reptiles, I believe, in the
Wow.
house with me and Shelby's collection together, because she had her home collection when she moved in, and now we're just a house full of snakes and
Nice. So the
geckos
stay-at-home snake mom,
and turtles and
reptile mom.
tortoises and we got it all.
Do your tortoises live outside?
Yeah, yeah. My sulcatas live outside.
How many do you have?
2. I have a
Mm-hmm.
male and a female. I have a pair out there. I've never tried breeding them or anything. I don't want to breed them.
Mm-hmm. How old are they? Do you know?
They're around 15 to 17 years.
Oh, wow. So they're big.
The female's big. My male's really small. So I got my male back when, I shouldn't have bought a sulcata because I didn't know anything about reptile keeping, and he got really stunted when he was a baby. But he's been outside for the last 10 years, and he's like quadrupled in size since then. So you live, you learn. Don't get a sulcata because they're not for everybody, and they destroy your yard.
Yes, they are very destructive. I have 2 that I took in. One of them was living in a snake rack drawer,
Oh my
and
god!
I only took them because they obviously needed better care. I didn't know anything about them, but I figured whatever I did, I could learn was better than
Mhm.
where he was living. And those 2 tortoises have grown so much just this year being outside. I've had them a little over 2 years, and it's unbelievable what that walking around so much in sunshine,
Walking, grazing, sunshine.
it's
Yeah,
been
my little Sully, that's his name. He was like this big when I put him outside. His first year outside, he was this big. His second year, he was this big. Like it was insane on how fast he was growing. But I think his growth has slowed down so much just because how old he is. He should have grown so much bigger already, and he's still growing. But I mean, he's outside in a big pen, and they go into a winter barn during the winter because it gets too cold here to have them outside. So they have a heated barn outside, and then I move them back to their grass yard, and it's dirt within a month. Like they eat so much grass. So, but we have 3 acres, so we can like let them out of the pen and let them graze in the yard, and sit outside and have a beer and watch them graze.
Yes, my
Not
husband
a
loves
bad
to sit
weekend.
outside and watch the tortoises.
Yeah,
Tiny Tim and Pasithia, thank you, Ghost, for recognizing my little sweeties.
yeah. Mine's
What
Sully and
about
Armani.
Sully and Armani? Do you
Yeah, my
name all
buddy
of your
Carl.
reptiles?
Huh?
Do you name everybody? You can't.
Yes.
Wow.
Everyone that I can actually differentiate from the other. So, like my micro geckos, I have no idea who's who. I got like a group of 5. Like I don't know who's who. They don't get names. They just get, this is the Vea Robusta 1.
Right.
They're in my computer system as like I have this animal, but I couldn't tell you which one was 1 or 2 or 3. They look too
Mhm.
much alike. Um, but no, all my snakes get names. Um, most of my breeding pairs of geckos get named.
Do you
All my
have any themes for your names?
Yeah, lots. Everything's got a theme. I'm pretty sure.
That's really neat. What are just some of your themes?
So my boas have always been named after X-Men. I mean, my logo's the X from X-Men. I was a huge X-Men fan when I was a kid, and still am.
You look like you belong on X-Men.
That's awesome. I love you saying that. But so everything's been like Apocalypse and Rogue are my Argentine, like my 20-year-old pair that I've had forever. And then like all my Brazilian rainbows are named after like Greek mythology, like Pandora. So
That's what
then like all
mine
my
are.
geckos are like sci-fi fantasy
Mm-hmm.
names. I'm a big nerd when it comes to like books and reading.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some Tolkien names up there.
Yeah, I would like Tolkien names. I did mythology from all different cultures, and I just love all the fun names to say. Sometimes it takes months to even figure out how to say it proper.
I'd say it. Yeah. So yeah, Shelby names all her gargoyle geckos. She has a black and white project she's working with. It's all V names from Norse mythology.
Mm,
So I thought that was pretty cool.
that
That she
is.
chose to do that. I'm like, that's a lot, girl. That's too much.
I want to ask you about your spiders. I didn't see spiders when I was researching you.
Oh no, I don't post my spiders. My spiders are for me. So I have maybe 15 tarantulas. They're just pets. I don't breed them. I don't work with them like that. I've had some for 10 or 12 years,
Well,
but they're
what kind
not.
of husbandry does a tarantula? Like, could I just have a tarantula loose in my house?
No, you
Oh.
need an enclosure.
Mm-hmm. Because they have to have certain humidity and all of that too,
Mhm.
right? Depending
Depending
on
on where
what.
they're from, yeah. So I have a lot of, I guess, African species like baboons, baboon tarantulas, and then I keep a lot of New World um, rainforest tarantulas, or more arid. Some of them are more arid. Like I have Mexican red knees. I have, I don't even know what I have. I have so many spiders over there. I know I have Bephories, the pink, the blue leg from Africa. I have a Kalugi. I've had her, I don't even know how many years, 12 years. She's like this bigger, she's like that big.
Wow.
Had her forever. Um, like an orange bitey thing. I got one of those. I don't know how long I've had it. A long time. I have a lot of old pets.
And what is your girlfriend's name? I think you said it once, but I don't
Shelby.
remember. Shelby. And
Mm-hmm.
Shelby collects. You
Do what?
said Shelby collects centipedes,
She does millipedes,
millipedes.
not centipedes. She does millipedes and isopods.
Are millipedes venomous or
No,
poisonous? No. Okay.
no, they're detrivores, so they eat dirt and decaying matter.
Huh.
They do
Nice.
the kind of the same job as like an isopod or a springtail.
So can you mix those in with any of your reptiles?
I mean, yes, but if your reptile eats it, that would be a expensive meal.
Right, but like those little geckos, he couldn't go in there with those, right?
Um, I mean, I could. I don't like keeping stuff together like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're better set up so you can take care of their needs better because they eat like squash and stuff like that.
What's the biggest millipede that
The
you guys
largest one
have?
she keeps is a African giant, and then she has some golden Texas golds, I think they're called.
How big is an African giant?
I mean, hers is still a baby, but they can be like a foot long.
Wow, that's crazy.
I've seen one about a foot long. We've held one at the zoo. She's a geek for bugs.
Nice. Well, you
So I
guys
fell in
were
love
a
with
good
her, I guess.
match.
Huh?
You guys are a good match, a couple of geeks
Oh
keeping
yeah,
some
we're both nerds
crazy exotic
when it
animals.
comes to reptiles and bugs.
Oh, wow. I just saw this comment pop up that Smiley said that their reptiles are named after family members who passed away.
Okay,
That's very interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that.
me neither. I don't have that much family that passed away.
Me neither. I think just two that I can think of. Yeah, you would have to have you
I
would
would
have
have
to
to
go
have
back
like
to,
an army of people that,
yeah, you'd have to go back so many generations to get enough.
right?
I wanted to ask about your bearded dragons. So they are eating the dubia roaches, obviously. And
Uh-huh.
then what other kind of bugs are you feeding them?
Occasionally, we give them crickets, and then we feed them salads.
Mm-hmm. Well, this little one that I have is so fat. You can't even believe it, how fat she is. And she was eating for 5 years superworms,
Oh my
as
lord,
many as
yeah.
she wanted. And her little beard is so big and jiggly, and her stomach is longer than her legs.
That's
So
insane.
she doesn't move really well. So we've been really working with her, and that's why I started raising those dubia roaches, because they're so good and nutritious. And I found something really interesting. I thought I would never get her to eat salad, but when I have her out in the sun, in the sunshine, she will eat the salad.
Yeah,
So I've been doing that every day.
good.
Mhm.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I've seen a
Yes.
lot of obese bearded dragons in my life. I do
Well, I
not think
never
they're a
saw
good
one.
starter pet for anyone
No, it's just unbelievable how they're considered a starter pet when they're
because
so
they reproduce so
difficult.
much and they're cheap.
Mhm. Yes, there's so many at the pet store.
I mean, a female can have 5 clutches a year
Wow.
sometimes.
When I was reading on your stuff, I saw ethically sourced, and I wondered exactly what does that look like?
Ethically sourced.
Yes, for your breeding. The
Oh, all my animals are captive bred and born. Every animal I own. I don't own any wild caught anything. Everything's been purchased from a reliable breeder.
Mhm.
So I've never bought anything from um, someone who didn't produce it.
Mhm. So yes, that's what I was wondering what the ethically sourced means. So captive bred animals only.
Hmm. Yeah, we only sell captive bred and born, and we've only sourced captive bred and born for our project.
And you said you always get your snakes going on the frozen defrosted before you send them out to anybody.
Correct.
What else do you do to prepare them for new homes? Anything else?
Mainly just that. So once they're eating really well, I mean, I handle them. They get handled a lot at shows. They're more docile because I know like king snakes when they're first born, they're flighty and musky and they want to piss and shit all over you. But with a few months of handling them, that kind of stops. So the first few shows my snakes go through, they might be a little, still musky, but at the end of those shows, they're pretty good. By
Nice.
the time they sell, they're pretty calm.
And that's not real common with reptile keepers and breeders to make those animals tame, is it?
I mean, I'm sure it is with some.
Mhm.
A lot of people breed a lot of docile species that don't need to be tamed. Like boa constrictor doesn't really need to be tamed down. They're pretty
Mhm.
docile out of the mom. Brazilian rainbows can be nippy when they're babies, and just colubrids in general, like the muskins, peel over you when they're babies until they really start eating and you start handling them, and then they kind of stop.
Mhm.
But it's all species dependent.
Well, like in my mind, I think of just because of the feedback I get for holding my reptiles. My only experiences with these emeralds, all the animals I have upstairs are rescues. So I never meant to have any of them, like you said. And I am a foster fail, which I know now, and I do not take foster animals anymore. I just because I
You just
can't
take them.
part. You can't part with them, yeah.
I understand that.
But in my mind, I would think that the reptile breeders would not be handling their animals. So that was a huge misconception that I had. But are there any other misconceptions you know of that people have about breeding exotic pets? I love hearing that you handle them because I
Um,
don't hear that very often.
I mean, I don't look at these animals as profit. They've never. I've always kept this business as a hobby business. Like, I don't want to lose my love for any of these animals. So I've never looked at them as a dollar amount. They're a living creature, and I mean, I sell them, of course, but everything I breed this year, I'll sell by the time I have babies next year. And it's fun for me to produce these things, and I want them to go to good homes. I don't want them to go to just anybody. I'm not selling them to pet stores. I'm not flipping them to Joe Schmo so he can make a profit on it. Like, I've given away a lot of animals in my years of doing this because someone liked it. My friend Bill yelled at me a couple years ago for doing that, but I didn't care. And I gave him his wife a free gecko just to piss him off.
I bet he wasn't too pissed about that one.
I mean, she was happy, but he was mad at me for just giving stuff away. So, but I've always looked at him as, if these are amazing creatures to keep as pets. They're amazing creatures to keep to breed. And I have a lot of animals, but I also have a lot of species. I don't work with just boas. I work with a lot. So I got Jamaican boas sitting over there waiting to breed in a few years, Dominican red mountains, and I can't stop getting new species to work with because they're fascinating.
Especially going to the reptile shows when you get to see, it's so easy to fall in love with things.
Oh, yeah. I have to stay behind my table. I can't go walking around anymore. And Shelby shouldn't be walking around either because she always finds something she wants. And she always gets it.
Good job, Shelby.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but yeah, it's been a fun journey for sure.
Well, you definitely have raving reviews on your morph market, and I saw reviews on your Facebook page. So you're doing something really great.
Thank you.
Passing along healthy animals. Everybody says they're healthy, that you were a pleasure to deal with. I read the reviews and I just thought, wow, that's so great because, you just hear a lot of things that aren't great about reptile breeders. So it was really refreshing to see everybody had nothing but good things to say.
Well, that's good because I don't think I've ever read those.
Well, there you go. There's your synopsis.
I'm really bad at like techie stuff, so going back and I don't know.
Yes, you definitely don't have much out there. That's why I have to talk about the reviews because you don't put much out there yourself.
No, I've never been that person. I've always been like quiet about what I'm working with.
Yes, because all of these things we're talking about are not on your social media pages.
No, I don't think I've ever posted that I have Dominicans or Jamaican boas.
What was the first animal you bred and sold?
Argentines. Argentines were the first snake I ever bred and sold. I did that I bred them in 2013 and I had babies in 2014. And then the next species was Brazilian rainbows or crested geckos, if you count those.
Why wouldn't you?
Because they're so easy to breed.
I see.
It's pretty easy to breed a crested gecko. Put two together, you get babies. They'll hatch in the ground. Like, you don't even have to incubate them.
And when did you start?
Pop out of the ground so many times.
Wow, I bet that's so fun. Like a little surprise.
It's like, wow, you go in at night to feed them and there's two babies sitting on the front glass and you're like, okay, well, I have these now.
Do they ever know
you were pregnant? Babies? I didn't know you had eggs in you. You've been separated from a male for 18 months.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, babies popped out of the ground.
Wow.
Yeah. That was pretty cool, actually.
Do they ever eat their babies?
I've never seen cressids do that. No. I know leechies do, and I know gargoyles will. The micro species, I've only let 2 species hatch in the ground. just because I like didn't find their eggs and I found babies in their enclosure. The Excesta and the Savagii, I've never seen them eat their babies, but I definitely not witnessed them eat them, but found hatched eggs in the ground and no babies in the cage on gargoyle and Leachianus.
Mm-hmm. So are you still breeding those two?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those leechies are really pretty. I know what they look like.
I love Leachies. Right now I think I have 2 pairs going right now. I'm about to pair up some GTs. The mainland, the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to pair some of those up, and then by the end of the year, I'll put them together.
When did you start selling with Morph Market?
Oh, I don't know when Morph Market became a thing.
Mm.
Whenever Morph Market started, I think I had an account with them.
Mm-hmm.
So back when John owned it.
That's where I got my very first snake from.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
The emerald tree boa.
The northern or the Amazon?
The Amazon, the basin.
Who'd you get it from?
John Levy.
Nice.
Do you know him or who he
Nope,
is?
not personally.
But you've heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was my very first one. And then another guy knew I was trying to find one, and he's the one who sent me the listing. And then he got the other one. John had 2 on there. And then the other guy ended up not wanting his anymore after like 8 months. And so we drove all the way from Arkansas all the way to New Jersey to get that animal.
So you're in Arkansas?
Yes, Central Arkansas, Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Yeah, you're not that far from me.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, Amazon basins are definitely my bucket list.
And you've never had one?
I've never had one.
Mm-hmm.
They're my bucket list animal. Like I want one. I have to have them before I die. Like that is literally my apex on Boas.
Wow.
Is the Amazon basin.
Well,
I'd
I
love
just
to get one from
wanted
Ed Marino, the snowflake and all that, the crazy heavy white ones. But
designer emeralds.
yeah, they're so cool.
They really are. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're my favorite. Probably my favorite arboreal.
Do you have any arboreals now?
Just the bush vipers. And I guess the Jamaicans in the Dominican Red Mountains are semi-arboreal. I mean, we work with carpet pythons, or she does. Shelby's got some carpet pythons, some Darwin, pure Darwins.
So the carpet pythons are a lot more docile than the boas, obviously.
No, they're smaller and less scary.
I see. Because you said Shelby wasn't comfortable with the boas.
So the boas have like a crazy food response, and so one of my racks have like glass windows in the front, so you can see in the enclosures and they can see out. And if you walk in front of it, they strike the glass all the time because it's food response. It's movement, heat, hit. They're sleeping. You're waking them up when you walk by, and she thinks that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so used to it. It doesn't do anything. Like it doesn't bother me. I know when they do it, they're just trying to catch a mouse walking down a trail because they're stationed up waiting for something to walk by because they're ambush predators. But her never working with boas before moving in, it's been intimidating for her because she's used to doing like hognose snakes and corn snakes and black rats and clubrets, diurnal animals.
Mm-hmm.
Not these, guys that like to eat a lot.
Right.
And hit really hard when they hit.
They do hit hard.
Yeah.
When I feed the boas, my husband uses tongs. The first time I tried to feed with tongs, the rat went completely across the room. I threw it. But I found that what I do now is I get like I use a lot of spinach And I have the soft plastic like spinach containers,
Uh-huh.
and I just heat it up and I put it in that container and I hold the whole thing and they take it right out of there. So that's my little way of doing it. That's not scary.
That's awesome.
But the
I
tongs,
just hold them by the tail and hand them to them.
my husband does that sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've
would
been
actually
doing it.
rather.
I mean, I've been feeding boas for, over 20 years. It's just flick them in there and they cake them. I'm just so used to them. They don't intimidate me. I love them.
Mhm.
But I can see how they are intimidating because they're really intense looking. On feeding day, they can smell the rats in the room and they're all awake. They're all ready. It can be intimidating opening a drawer when their nose is right there, just waiting.
Yes, especially with drawers because you can't see. Like with my guys, I can see them.
I have
So
drawers you can actually see, like there's windows, and you see them waiting with their nose tipped, like right at the edge. Like if you pull it open, they're coming out the top, just waiting for their food.
Yep, they definitely know when they're getting fed.
Oh yeah,
We use the toaster oven, so the whole downstairs smells so delicious to the animals.
oh yeah. I have a big table I set out to thaw everything out on, and it's like an all day affair of just handing rats to different snakes.
Mhm. It's definitely a great pleasure to feed them because we don't get very many opportunities to actually see them smile, and when they're gonna get food, they get a huge smile on their face.
Oh yeah, full of teeth.
Yep, nice big teeth.
Hmm.
Do you go travel all around the whole United States to these shows, or do you stay in Texas? And did I meet you in Dallas?
You saw me in Tinley. You may
Mm.
have saw me. I do the Dallas show twice a year. I do the NERBC Dallas. I do Tinley twice a year. I do a lot of Texas shows. So my home show is the Conroe show, the Herp show. I do the Austin Herps. I do College Station and like Rosenberg. Um, but we just started doing this year the All American Reptile and Plant Expos. So the ARPEs. We started doing the Nashville show and the Kansas City show. And I've also started doing the Central Kansas Reptile Show, which is in Wichita.
Mm.
So this year I've been branching out. I've been doing Tinley for like three and a half years. Um, but the other states I've only been to this year. So we've been broadening our horizons this year.
Well, maybe you'll have to do a show in Central Arkansas.
Yeah, you know you got shows there.
We do. I see them on Facebook. I have never been to one.
You haven't been one?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
I'm probably not going to go to any more reptile shows anymore
No,
because no, it's just the same as you and Shelby. It's just too hard, and I don't need any more animals.
I
And
understand that.
I go there and I see the animals and I want them. And we
I
came
understand
home
that.
last time we went to Tinley, we came home with an old, huge female northern. And we love her so much. She's so sweet and beautiful and strong, and just her head is huge. And I just know that I would always take something home. So we're just going to put a stop to going because we have our own little reptile show here daily.
No, I get that. I stopped going to shows for a while. Like from like '07 to like 13, I didn't go to any shows.
Oh, wow.
I just had my reptiles. And
Well, when you take your stuff to shows, I see all the people unloading all those huge boxes and bringing trailers, and there's just looks like so much work to bring the animals to those shows. So, what takes you to the shows over just using Morph Market? It's must be
um, the community. Like I
yes,
really
the
love. I
community's
have
amazing.
friends all across the country that I only get to see when I go to the show. So, like a lot of my friends up north, I only see when I'm at Tinley. Since the move on the Arlington show, NABC got moved to Dallas. Now there's a bunch of restriction on what you can sell in Dallas city limits. So you can't do retics or berms or any of that. So all my berm and retic friends that I had up in like Indiana, that's all they really bred. There's no reason for them to come down here anymore. So I don't get to see them other than at Tinley.
Are they trying to move that show back? I heard that they were going to try to allow an exception for those animals to be in Dallas.
I don't know any of the politics on Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I would love it to go back to Arlington, but I doubt it ever will because I think some art installation went into the place that we used to have at the Arlington Convention Center.
Mm-hmm.
It's now something else.
How many animals do you typically take when you go to the show? And do you take a trailer or a big van?
No, I don't have a trailer. I have a RAV4. I just have my little SUV. So we do about, 3 displays is all I actually know.
We kind of lost your audio. You're there, but it sounds like you're really far away.
Are you there? My battery's dying.
Okay. Well, we had a great conversation. We can go ahead. I got to cover everything that I had here and more. So do you have any last thing that you want to say to anybody?
Not really. Give us
You've already said so much.
Facebook and
Yes, you guys can follow Exotic. You can see that his name is spelled Rogue Exotics, and it's XOTI. So you guys look him up and check out all of the cool stuff that we talked about here tonight. And Robert, we really enjoyed having you. Thank you so much for coming on with us tonight. We'll see you again soon, and maybe in person next time when you're here in Central Arkansas.
Alrighty.
Bye, Robert. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And you guys stay on, because you know what we forgot to do? I forgot to say that we were going to watch our sponsor video. So we're going to play our sponsor video, and then we're going to sign off after that. So stay tuned to watch this really neat video that Chris has put together for us. Bye.
Lights come on, pulse in the air, we unite. Cold-blooded got 5 feet in the night. Cold-blooded caffeine, fueling the fight. Reptile crew got our backs tight. Thank you fam for keeping us all. CMB reptiles rolling with soul. Hold no soul, lifting our goal. Together we burn like burning coal. Elevate more fries in the show. Irresistible pythons letting it flow. Battery crew, yeah, but watch them go. Indigo, reptile coast, set the glow. Shut up feeders, but shut out fears. Under the rock with cold-blooded hitters. Ship your reptiles, make life better. South Bay reptiles, through every weather. Blue tongue, shaman, blue tongue republic. Arc adventures, riding republic. No fakes, no breaks, we're here to publish. Taking it higher, dreams embellished. Sponsors love through beats, we rise. Show it thanks that under the skies. Unite the world, reptile ties. Cold blood, warm hearts, no disguise.
Well, that was a great show.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Oh, you got your phone on the charger?
It's on the charger. It's been on the charger. It's on charge.
Well, that was perfect timing, because I was just going to have like the last 4 minutes. So that was just the right amount of time.
Are we still live?
No, I don't think so.
Is
anybody still out there? Let us know in the comments if you can still hear us. Yep, we're still alive. Thanks, Chris.
Thought so.
So how did it feel doing your first podcast? Did you like talking about your animals and your experiences?
Yeah, I had a really good time. Thank you guys for having me on.
Good, thank you. I was going to say, you said the rainbow boa was your first, and that probably wasn't a good idea. And our very first was these emeralds.
Amazon, Basins, like one of the hardest snakes to keep.
Yeah, I just wanted a snake, and my husband said he was going to pick it out. So that's how we ended up with emeralds.
That's how I ended up with Brazilian rainbows. My ex-wife wanted a Brazilian rainbow, so we got them, and now I have like 15 of them, all different mutations.
Wow. And are those on your Instagram?
Yeah, a few of them are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my Colombians and my Brazilians on there. I have most of my stuff on there, I think. I've been trying to get better. So Shelby's been helping me out a lot on posting. Like you can, when you start looking at all the recent stuff, it's all chicks' hands. It's not my hand. So it's her taking pictures and posting on my Instagram.
Right. Yeah, social media is hard. I've tried a couple times over the years to get into it. Of course I make these goals and I want to be consistent and do all of these things, but in the end I just want to be like Shelby and be my stay-at-home reptile mom.
Yeah.
And enjoy everybody. And I post in spurts, when I feel like it. So I'm not obligating myself to that. It's a lot of work, social media. Hands down to those people who do it. It's definitely a small business, social media on its own.
It's a lot. I've never been good at like being consistent on posting, and we're still not good at consistently posting. We just get tied up. We got a lot to take care of around here. So
I know.
I got a full-time job. So
What do you do?
I work for a liquor distributor.
So do you drive or you work in the office?
I drive. I drive around and I take orders.
Can I put an order in for my husband? He loves liquor.
I mean, if you live in Texas and you have a liquor license, sure. Don't have one of those, I can't sell to you. The liquor laws are, pretty strict.
Do you deal with any type of rare liquors like bourbon, rare bottles of bourbon or tequila or stuff like that?
I have a very large collection of rare bourbons that I'm actually trying to sell.
We just sold a bunch of bottles of bourbon and bought another basin from Steve Volk with the money.
Yeah? I need to
Yes.
sell my bottles. I got bottles in my collection that are worth over $9,000.
Wow.
So I have most of my bottles are around $500 to $3,000, but I do have one bottle that's like in the $9,000 range.
Wow. Yeah, you won't be
I would
parting
love to
with
sell
that.
all of them and buy snakes and, invest in my company more. Because I'm never going to open them and drink them.
Right. That's how Larry was. He doesn't open them, but then sometimes he would take some really expensive bottles, to a party or somewhere, a graduation or, just different little things and open those bottles.
Yep.
So then everybody who came over got to drink those expensive bottles because they weren't, they just had already been opened.
Oh, I've given them to the U.S. ARC auction before. I've gotten rid of some like 21-year-old ryes and some really, really nice stuff. I've given to the U.S. ARC auction.
Nice. Well, I am going to say goodbye, everybody.
Right.
Thank you for coming. One comment. I don't see all the comments coming in because I need glasses, but sometimes I'll see something pop up. And I saw Gabriel said that his Geneva was named after his grandmother when we were talking about snake names. So I thought that was really sweet.
Nice. That's awesome.
Where are you relative to Dallas?
I'm about 3 hours south of Dallas.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just north of Houston.
So you're probably about 10 hours, or I guess 7 hours from me.
6. So it's about 6 hours. I want to say, because I'm about an hour. I'm an hour north of downtown Houston. About 6 hours to Hot Springs.
Do you drive? That was actually, since you're still here, I was curious. Do you drive your animals to the reptile shows or do you fly and ship the animals?
We drive. So yeah, next Thursday morning we leave for Tinley.
Yep, we were all set to go because we like to meet Steve Volk up there, but we canceled because we are moving. So that's going to be a huge feat. So we opted not to go this year. Do you guys drive through here when you go there?
We go through Little Rock. So we go up through Texarkana, hit Little Rock, and then go up by Memphis and go north.
Wow. Well, that's right where I am. I'm right between Hot Springs and Little Rock. So maybe we can work something out. If not this next trip, it's so soon, but something in the maybe in March, you guys might want to just stop and visit our Happy Basins jungle.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love
I
to
would
do that.
love that.
I would love that. I'd be to see my dream species up close.
Nice. Well, we have an adoption requirement that anybody who does adopt one of our babies has to come and visit the Happy Basins jungle. So that'll qualify you for the
Okay.
future. If
I'm
you're
down.
ever looking for a natural looking basin.
Oh, I'm any basin. As long as it's a basin. I
Yes,
had
we
my
would
dream
love to
basin
have
and
you
I had
guys.
like my dream basin, which are about the same thing.
Nice.
Just
Well,
having the species would make me happy.
that would be great. We just love to share the animals. I don't know if you've seen any of our videos,
I've
but we just
I've seen your
love to
setup.
cover people in them.
Yeah, I've seen your setups. They're really nice. I mean, you go all out for your basins, which is awesome.
We really enjoy it. It's like you said, it's just such a fun hobby to
Yeah.
just be part of these animals' lives. All right,
Maybe-
we're going to say goodbye for real this time. And
Okay.
I think that now I know you drive right through, like right down my road twice a year. I think we're going to definitely be able to set something up that I'm going to
I mean,
get to
4
meet you
times on the way
guys.
back.
Did you say 4 times on the way back?
Yeah, because we have to go back through it on the way home.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. So twice and then twice.
Right. So 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And do you breed your tarantulas at all? I know you said they're just your pets.
No, I've never tried breeding tarantulas. Shelby's bred jumping spiders, but I've never been in the breeding inverts. I've bred scorpions before. That was probably the
Mm.
first thing I ever bred. Was
Were
a
they
invert
wild?
scorpion.
Were they wild scorpions that you caught, or you
I got
bought
them
them?
at Petco when I was in high school, and I got a male and female, and I paired them together, and I got babies. I thought
Wow.
that was insane. Like it was before I even owned a snake. I had
Wow.
baby scorpions. I was like, this is awesome.
That really is awesome.
Yeah, I
Got
was
you
super into
hooked.
arachnids before I got into snakes, so I had a bunch of scorpions.
Well,
Scorpions
I've
are my
always wanted
favorite.
a tarantula, so maybe
Oh, you
I'll.
should get one. They're really fun.
I watch them on videos constantly. I follow all kinds of spiders. I love spiders.
Yeah, me too. I love them. I just don't want to breed them and deal with their egg sacs.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It's mostly like I don't want to deal with it because I have too much stuff going on.
Right. Do you hold them?
No,
Mm-hmm.
I've held. I used to have a pink zebra beauty that was very holdable. You could just pick her up like she was a paperweight. Like she didn't react at all when you picked her up. You pick her up and set her on somebody, she'd sit there and then she might start walking around. She passed away. She was like 10 or 15 years old when I
Wow.
lost her. But I don't really hold my tarantulas. I have a lot of mean tarantulas, so none of them, they're not holdable. The really pretty ones are normally the really aggressive ones.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my Mexican red knee is definitely holdable. My curly hair is probably holdable. I just never go in there and try to hold them.
Right.
They're doing their own thing. We feed them, we water them,
Yes. Fun
upgrade
to
their
watch.
houses when they need it. Just leave them alone, let them live their lives.
Mm-hmm. Okay, for real this time, because I really
Okay.
do have to go. My husband is upstairs and I know he's waiting for me because you know what we're going to do? We're going to go get a sonic blast.
Nice. Enjoy Sonic.
Thank you. Thanks again, Robert. Chris,
You're
thanks
welcome.
for always putting these together and letting me come on your network and do these podcasts. I just love it. I love getting to meet all of the great people. And Robert, I'll be seeing you soon. If you
Yes.
guys do end up coming through when you do it this October, we're in the middle of moving, but you're still welcome to come and see things. But if you want to wait till March, we'll be ready for a full
March sounds like a
Emerald
better
experience. All right, great. Well, tell Shelby I'm looking forward to meeting her, and
All
I
right.
will see you soon.
All right.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Under neon lights so cold they hum, shadows of scales where whispers come. A world of emeralds and tales untold, chasing the warmth in a world so cold. Happy basins, we rise and glow, charmed rose and stories the world should know. Emerald dreams in a twilight sky, together we thrive as the days go by. Amy speaks with a voice so kind, spreading the knowledge to ease the mind. Through winding paths, scales and lore, a brighter world we all explore. Happy basins, we rise and